Hi everyone, welcome back to the Do Try This at Home School. This week is going to be a really special week because we are going to be teaching you a little bit of wartime rations cooking. So what we normally do every summer is we spend a working week living on wartime rations and whatever fruit and vegetables we can grow in our garden. But this year, being in the midst of a pandemic and with life being quite stressful, we have decided that what we would do is share with you every day this week one of our favourite recipes from the last 3 years of living on wartime rations. And today we are going to show you how to make a wartime loaf. So this is an original recipe from the 1940s. It's called Wartime Loaf. I found the recipe on a brilliant website called the 1940s Experiment, which is a great website by a lady called Carolyn, and I am going to combine it with some extra tips from Jamie Oliver. So you're going to need a bowl, a fork, a jug full of tepid water, some sugar, some bread flour, some yeast and some scales for weighing out all of your ingredients. You might also want to add a pinch of salt. So cooking with children is fabulous for all sorts of areas of development. It's good for maths, it's good for getting them to eat food, especially if they're fussy eaters. It's good for time, it's good for weight, measure, all sorts of things, and it's also really good fun. And bread smells so good when you cook it. So I am going to get my assistant and she's going to come and help me make some bread. Ta-da! Here is my helper. We have washed our hands, tied up your hair, and now we're ready to make some bread. So the first thing Jamie Oliver does is he uses 600 millilitres of tepid water, so warm water, and he puts it in his bowl. So you're going to tip it in. There you go. All of it. Pull in. There you go. Beautiful. And then we add a sachet of yeast. So we've just got yeast from Asda. Here it is. I'm going to chop the top. You can tip it in. Okay, tip it all in. Give it a good shake. That's it. What's it doing? Oh, it smells good. Right, give it a tiny stir with a fork. Beautiful. Right, can you see what it's doing? Is it making some bubbles?
Yes.
Now we're going to add a teaspoon of sugar. This is my teaspoon, also the cowpole spoon. Scoop. Chuck it in. So the next thing we need is 2 pounds or a kilo of bread flour. So we got this good bread flour, didn't we? And it's actually pasta and pizza flour, but it makes good bread. But you can use wholemeal flour, you can use any bread flour you want. Ooh, is it heavy?
Yes.
Let's tip. Ready? Tip it. Keep going. That's 1 pound. Keep going. Keep going up to the big number 2. Quite a lot of flour. This makes quite a lot of bread. So now we've got our yeast and our sugar and our warm water in the bowl and all of our flour in there. Shall we sieve it into the bowl? Let's do that. Okay, you're going to tap it. There you go. This might take a while. So, when you've tipped all your flour in the bowl, you can mix it with your fork. And keep mixing. Shall I do some? We're going to add a pinch of salt to the proceedings, like that. And we're going to keep mixing. You're going to mix. It's coming together. So when it is a big ball of dough, you can flour your table. Come on then, flour the table. And you can put your dough out on the table like that and give it a good kneading. That's it. Stretch it and squash it and punch it. So now our dough looks like this. We are going to put it in a bowl and cover it with a damp cloth. So ordinarily people would put their dough in an airing cupboard or somewhere warm. We don't have an airing cupboard, so we put our dough on a nice sunny day in the greenhouse, don't we?
Yes.
And that's where we're going now. We keep it wrapped up really tight because last time I did this, one of the birds got in and tried to eat it. Whoa, look at that. You can see all the bubbles from the carbon dioxide. That means it's risen right up. Okay. So here we are in the kitchen with our dough that has risen, and now we're going to get it out of the bowl. We're going to knead it again and we're going to turn it into some loaves of bread. Now we're going to knead it again and then we're going to break it into 2 loaves. So we're going to knead it, fold it, squeeze some of that air out. That's it. So we're going to cut this in half and then we're going to shape some loaves. So we're going to chop. So we're going to turn this one into a nice loaf of bread. We're going to put this one on a tray now. The trays have been greased and then floured so that our bread doesn't stick. You can make it in a tin, you can make it as a plait, you can do whatever you want. So we're just going to make this into the shape of a round one. We're going round? Okay. And we're going to put our round one like that. Hang on. I'm going to put it on our tray. On this one. And this one we are going to cut into rolls. So we're going to cut it into pieces and make little rolls so that we can have them with our soup tomorrow. So we've cut our dough into smaller pieces and we're just rolling them to make rolls, aren't we? Beautiful. Here is our round loaf. Here are our rolls. And to make them a little bit more of a wartime loaf, we're going to sprinkle some water on the top and then put some oats on, some porridge oats. Sprinkle some water with your fingers. That's it. Sprinkle, sprinkle on all of them. And then we're going to, goes a bit gluey. And then you can get your oats and sprinkle your oats on the top. Squash them on a bit. Done. Now we are going to put them back in a warm place for another half an hour or 45 minutes until they've doubled in size before we put them in the oven. We've left the bread to prove one more time until it's doubled in size. Ooh. And now we're going to put it in the oven, which is preheated to gas mark 6, which is 180 degrees Celsius, I think. Check that. And I'm also going to put in a tray of water on the bottom of the oven. Tip from my nan, because it stops your bread from drying out and keeps it nice and moist. So it's been 35 minutes. I think our bread is done. Should we open the oven?
Yeah.
With our gloves. Ooh. Rolls for our soup. And da 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 da.
My big loaf of bread.
Giant loaf of wartime bread. So we're going to make lots more of these videos this week. Tomorrow we're going to make some pea soup. Don't forget you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and visit our website to see what else we got up to when we were living on wartime rations. The website is www.thedotrythisathomeschool.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.